Or do you think we're good? All right. Good morning. Today is one of the days we want to take a little field trip, bring you out here and look at some things in public safety that we do. This is incredibly a great thing that we have behind us for our people, for our staff, for our citizens in so many ways. It's so many other things that are going on at Fire. We wanted to share them an opportunity. We're going to take a moment to kind of talk a little bit about Fire, and then we're going to have a regular press conference, and then we have a little field trip where we're happy to work with you guys and let you see what our firefighters go through every day. First, I'd like to recognize a couple of people. Obviously, our fire staff and administration here. Certainly, Chief Craner, who's going to be speaking in a moment. Her team does an excellent job every day, and we're going to talk about some great things that they've been able to help us achieve that are going to impact you as citizens and help you better off. I did want to recognize from the Port of Pensacola staff, Shep Coggin. Shep, thank you so much for being here. You helped us write this grant, get this test facility, so thank you. I want to recognize another gentleman who I've worked with before. It took me a minute to recognize him out of uniform with the Coast Guard, but Patrick Coleman from the Coast Guard. We worked very closely during Deepwater Horizon. It's good to see him without any oil, or at least any oil unless we're burning it. So we're happy to see you here. He also helped us with the grant for this simulator. There are so many things that we're able to do. We are very excited to have a new Maritime Fire Training Simulator at Fire Station 4. This is the only maritime live fire trainer in this region. The simulator will be used for a variety of firefighting trainings for both Pensacola Fire Department and other fire departments throughout the area. Thank you to Chief Craner and her team, along with the staff of the Port of Pensacola who secured this grant and made this possible. This just shows all the kind of things that you see here at Fire Station 4 that we do for training. There's cars, roofs, a tower. So a variety of things that we practice on to make sure we're prepared. And because of being prepared, I want to talk to you about the other big announcement today. Pensacola Fire Department ISO rating. The fire department's ISO rating has been moved up to an ISO Class 1, which is the highest score in the range of 1 to 10. Less than 1% of fire departments in the United States have an ISO Class 1 rating. An ISO rating is a score provided to fire departments and insurance companies by the Insurance Service Office. The score reflects how prepared a community or area is for fires. A strong ISO score suggests to insurance providers that the likelihood of being destroyed by a fire is low if you live somewhere than if you lived in a poor ISO score area. A strong ISO score it does reduce property insurance costs compared with a community that does not achieve as strong of an ISO. So again, you are in a community that has a 1. Less than 1% of all the communities in the United States have a 1, and we are very thankful to have a team that does such a great job. They prepare, they train, they take care of us every day, and they are led by a great leader here who I'm going to introduce and let you come up and talk to you a little bit more about it. But Chief, thank you so much for what you and your team do, and congratulations on the ISO rating. I think that speaks volumes about you and your team, and I think it's something for our community to be very thankful for.
Thank you, Mayor. It is. It's an exciting day at the Pensacola Fire Department, and exciting for all of us. There's a phrase that said that good firefighters are made on the fire ground or on emergency scenes, but really, what's more true is great firefighters are made at a place just like this, made on the drill ground, because experience is what you get after you needed it, right? And so this simulator that you see behind you, how are we going to use it? We're not just going to run into it, turn the fire on and run into it. We're going to use this simulator beginning with a tour. We start at the Port of Pensacola by touring vessels, coordinated tours of vessels, ships at the port. We look at the layouts. How many people are on the ship? What are their escape paths? What special fire safety enhancements does the ship have? And then we look at securing fuels and batteries and special processes. These are all things that are pre-planned and coordinated in advance. And then we do the tour, and then we apply what we've learned at a simulator like this. We apply it under live fire real conditions. And this is the only simulator like this in our entire region. So this simulator is going to better prepare Pensacola firefighters responding to the Port of Pensacola, but also regionally to ship fires in our entire region. And there are several people to thank. Our city team, first of all, our project lead, Battalion Chief, our training officer, George Foss, for working on this project. Patrick Coleman with U.S. Sector Mobile, Thomas Coggin with the Port for helping with this grant, Robbie McGuire with Public Works, and then Mott McDonald and Emerald Coast Constructors for their work on this simulator. So we take something like this simulator and the preparation and diligence required by our teams, and we look at how that translates into our ISO score. So effective June 1st, the City of Pensacola Fire Department is a Class 1 ISO fire department, and that is so exciting for us. But there are several factors involved in that. First of all, thank you to ECUA for having a great water supply. That's a huge factor. But then also to our city team, our IT team, our communications and dispatch team, our fire telecommunicators, and the largest part of what's measured in the ISO score, the largest part of it is what Pensacola Fire's doing every day. Response to fires, drills and training, pre-fire planning activities, fire safety inspections, construction plans review, and then also the apparatus and equipment that we have. And I have to thank the mayor and the council for prioritizing staffing in the city, because staffing is a huge part of the ISO rating. Special thank you to our ISO lead, Fire Marshal Annie Bloxon, for the work that she did on this, and to Captain Jared Gruber for the work that he did also. This could not have happened without their data collection. And then to our Pensacola firefighters for doing this work every day, for being out here doing this work, being prepared to respond to the community. So it is an exciting day out here at the drill field, and thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Mayor?
Thank you. And before she leaves, she told me that back in our early days before becoming chief, that you wrote the grant, also were involved in this one, so it was very special to her. So very much appreciate Chief's involvement in this. We are going to come back and do a couple things with our regular press conference, but we kind of wanted to ask any of y'all if you had questions or anything about fire in particular. We wanted to let the press, and while Chief Crane or anybody else is here, if you have questions about fire related specifically before we go into the rest of the press conference.
The scope of the region that will use this facility?
Yes, we would, from Panama City to Mobile is the regional area.
How much was the grant and the cost of all this to get done?
Less than $400,000, largely funded by FEMA grant through the Port Security Grant Program, but also through local option sales tax funds that were allocated by the council and prioritized by the mayor and his staff.
This is a facility the military will also train on?
Potentially. It is definitely a regional asset, so we will have law enforcement doing some homeland security type exercises in it, so possibly military, and then definitely all of our firefighting resources, to include firefighters and EMS working on removing patients from ships. And you see these ladders and special areas that you have to gain access to.
Yeah, I've never seen a facility like this on any of the bases, so it's unique.
It is.
Does this give the port, I guess, any kind of extra to have the firefighters here trained on ships? Does that give it kind of a boost to the port in any way, as far as being able to respond in that way, or any advantages like that?
Well, I will defer that question to the port director, Clark Merritt, or perhaps Patrick Coleman.
Or Patrick.
Andrew, off the top of my head, I don't think so. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think so. It certainly can't hurt in us competing for other grants for more funding to improve the infrastructure at the Port of Pensacola. If we have this behind us to pull from. So.
Who handles fire response at the port?
Pensacola Fire does. Yeah, vessels and facilities, all of it.
We've got our boat back, and we have responded to fires.
We do not have our boat back yet.
Okay.
Our fireboat has been a victim of the pandemic, unfortunately. It is getting some grant-funded manufacturer upgrades, which required it to go to Canada. And because of the pandemic, it's been in Canada for a little while. So we're still working on sea trials before we can have the boat returned.
The Pensacola Fireboat had to go to Canada for upgrades during the pandemic.
It did. Special chemical, biological, radiological type of upgrades that had to be done by the manufacturer.
We're hoping it gets a good COVID test and gets to come back. But I was thinking we were already. It's been a long time we've been waiting on it. So I thought we were in the process of actually getting it back. So can't wait for that to happen. But it hasn't fought just fires on ships. If you recall, I think first year I was mayor, we had the condo fire at Perdido Key, where it was very instrumental in providing additional water from the water. So it was very helpful in that, and we were recognized by Escambia County Fire for our support in helping put out that fire.
For people who drive by, the primary difference here is that this would be a ship simulator, whereas that's a building simulator.
That's right. The tactics and strategies involved in structural firefighting versus shipboard firefighting are completely different. The materials burning, and those are all items that our firefighters are training and preparing on every day. Just the construction, the rate of heat release of materials that are burning, and the best extinguishing practices. Those are all different factors. So you see here we have a facility that we do Class A combustibles, which is wood essentially, that we can do live fire training in that. This is a gas-fired prop, which is cleaner in a lot of ways for our firefighters to be able to use that. And then this is a tower that we no longer burn in, but we do other types of confined space, rescue, a lot of ladder work and things like that, and rappelling from the top of the tower. So we have a multifunctional drill tower here. We have a gas-fired prop there and a vehicle fire prop. So we have a lot of things that happen on this drill field.
I'm trying to make sense in my head of when PFD would use this. You're going to get a call from a ship that's in the port or near the port in the bay, having a fire. You're going to transport people to the ship to use the tactics they learn here. Am I putting it together right?
You are. Many of the fires we have are when the ship is in port, or even at some of the other local facilities. There have been some large ship fires. And so there's been a lot of opportunities to actually use some tactics that you might be able to hone in a facility like this.
So relatively rare, but because it's specialized, you need to have it when you need it.
That's right. And also it is multifunctional, so we can also take the type of fire we can create in this building that you'll get to see, and we can also use it as if it were a fire inside of a building, and just use our imagination and training to set up different types of drills and scenarios.
Yeah, I think that's also, it can be cross-utilized for land training as well. So it has that ability. There are some commonalities within a fire, so that do allow that. But I think it's also. I remember the day after Christmas, went out with a friend on a boat, and there was a boat fire in the middle of Pensacola Bay. The boat burned and sank. But so we do have marine fires, and there is certainly the need for us to be prepared in this area. But this is very exciting. If I was going to say, if there are no further ones, we'll come back. I have my gear on. We'll be ready. So I'm going to be ready to put on my mayor helmet and get into the fire. I told Andrew that this was one he didn't want to miss, because we're going to have some fun show and tell. So we're going to get all y'all in there and appreciate that. Did want to kind of go over some of the things. Transition. If there are no more questions for fire, I'd go into my regular press conference and just talk about a couple of things. One, certainly this weekend we could not have had more amazing weather. So that was awesome. The weather was unbelievable. I think Bill Bond opening day was a real treat to get out there. We had Bubba Watson. We had Jared Moore, Robert Bender, and myself. We all threw pitches. I will say, theirs were a little high. Mine might have been inside to the left-handed batter, but it was at least about strike level coming in there. So we had a good time. Where's Leah got a good picture of me with the ball still coming toward the plate, so I thought that was good. We had a lot of fun, but it is amazing the number of children that you see playing baseball. And yes, it's great having them out there and having fun outside and other stuff, but I think when you really look at what you can learn in a teamwork setting, baseball is a great sport. Many of the sports we play, Pensacola Parks and Rec, are great sports, and Bill Bond and our baseball league, they do an amazing job, and it's great to see how many kids we had out there playing. It was great. Then I came downtown to Ciclavia. That was an awesome experience. I think we saw just hundreds of people. I know I saw several council members in there. I know Casey got our picture. I certainly appreciate Rand Hicks. I see Brian Wire in the back. I know Brian was there as well, participating in the activities. We all got in the picture that when they had the drone fly over. It was great to see the number of people out there. Couldn't ask for a better day. But I mean, these are the things we've been trying to work on. How do we become a more bicycle-friendly, pedestrian-friendly community? And we're certainly working in that direction. I'm not saying we've gotten everything perfect, but I think it shows there's a lot of enthusiasm to see that kind of vibrancy and activity in a downtown, and very proud that we were able to create that and have a great day and have so many people out enjoying the streets without necessarily being in a car. Thought it was a great day, and appreciate all those who participated in it, and really just thought it was a wonderful event. We also had last week we had our Spanish explorer Alvaro Machalar, who is Marichalar, who is a direct descendant of Don Tristan de Luna, a part of his family. He's been here several times on different things. In 2020, he started to do what Elcano and Magellan did and circumnavigate the world on a 11-foot jet ski. He got as far as Miami and the pandemic hit, and he spent 2 years on the sidelines. He's gotten back involved, went from Miami to Cuba, from Cuba up to Pensacola. He's now on his way to New Orleans. We were very glad to have him here as a part of that, and it was great to see him off. And I got to tell you, that's a special individual who's willing to go on a 11-foot jet ski out in the middle of the open ocean. But he's doing that, and we wish him all the best, and hopefully he'll be successful in doing what Elcano did and getting back to Sevilla, Spain. We were glad he came to Pensacola and to be here. It was great to see him be a part of that. We also had the groundbreaking for the Escambia County Infield Affordable Housing Project just down the street from here on G Street. It was great to see a couple of lots that are going to get put back into service and working with Habitat for Humanity. Seeing David Forte here, I know that he's been working with Marcy and their team, and we hope to have something very shortly to council, probably the end of April, 1st of May, that we're targeting a program that's going to be very similar. We're going to open up some lots both for Habitat for Humanity and for the city program. We're going to try to do a city program that I think is going to very much focus on also having contractors, and those contractors not only on their work, but also having a component of training in their apprenticeship training, trying to get people new skills in the construction field, so that we will also be teaching people how to build, and so we can continue to get more product on their affordable housing. So very excited about that. For the Pensacola Citizens Academy, I know Casey's working hard. This is something else. Alvaro was not the only one that got interrupted by COVID. I know Casey's been looking to do this for some time. For 2 years, we've kind of had to sit, but now we've got registration underway with the Pensacola Citizens Academy. Registration is open now, and the deadline to apply is through Sunday, April 10th. It's a free 9-week course that provides an opportunity for citizens to get an inside look at the City of Pensacola government, including tours, demonstrations, and more. Participants will get a behind-the-scenes look at City Hall, Pensacola International Airport, Port of Pensacola, Pensacola Police Department, Pensacola Fire Department, and more. And we are excited to get this program started back after having to pause for COVID. Learn more and apply at cityofpensacola.com. We hope you will do that. We also had Mayor's Cleanup this past weekend. The latest cleanup was a success, collecting 68 tons of bulk waste and over 1,400 gallons of paint and 99 tires. The cleanup took place this Saturday in East Hill and surrounding areas. The next neighborhood cleanup is scheduled for Saturday, April 30th. Visit cityofpensacola.com to learn more and see a map of your cleanup area and schedule. And finally, we continue to trend very well with COVID-19. Our positivity rate was 1.8%, which is down from the week before at 2.4%. We certainly are continuing to work in that area. And again, one of the things I want to say, big congratulations to all the winners who were part of the PACE Awards. It was great to see the PACE Awards that the Chamber does, dedicate those to our medical community and those winners that were there. I know I had the opportunity to speak and be a part of the nomination process for Justin Librato, who won one of the awards. I know John Porter, who works at Baptist, Gay Nord at West Florida, and of course Chandra Smiley at Escambia, Community Health. I still want to call them Escambia Community Clinics. All of these individuals, for 2 years, we worked so diligently on trying to keep our community as safe as we could during the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, and I appreciate the work that each of them and their organizations did to continue to make us safe. And I thought it was great to recognize them. Last week had what I think was good in the sense of seeing solar come at a more commercial and industrial scale with what FP&L is doing with solar. And I saw some of you there. It's going to power 15,000 homes. And it's going to create significantly less in greenhouse gas emissions. We are certainly very committed, however we can, to working with that. Obviously, we continue to be concerned, and we still pursue forward with the Public Service Commission and several other ways of issuing about rates. I still, again, if any individual feels like they have a meter problem, I've got a commitment from FP&L. If you get us addresses, we'll get them to look at your meter. We've done that with several other people before. We are committed to trying to find any solutions on rates, but this wasn't about rates. This is about greenhouse gas emissions, which is something we're all in this together on. And again, I think on that thing, I think that it was great to see something there, and we're going to continue to work on that as we look for ways we can implement solar at the City of Pensacola. So again, I think it was a great week. I think these are all things that we're working on together, and that's sort of where we are. But I'm happy to answer your questions, any questions that you might have. So happy to get going. Since John isn't here today, I'm sure somebody else has a first question. Jim.
You mentioned last week you're making progress on the Community Maritime Park lease. Any updates on that?
I know that the lease is done. It's been submitted. I know that Inspired was in town last week showing a new concept that they've come up with and briefing. I think they met with every council member. I know they offered to meet with every council member. They met with several. And so I think they met with everybody to show it. I think it's going to be, as it comes forward, it's a unique way. It's different than what we saw totally before of how it really takes the parking, the city's parking, and sort of separates it from the rest. And I think it's a really interesting way to do the project and meet all the requirements of what we're looking for. I think we'll have something back from them. We hope to have something back by the end of the month. I know it's a month later than we expected. But this project is going to be here for 99 years and impact this community for 99 years. We might as well take the extra month to make sure we get exactly everything right. I think Charlie and his staff have done a great job of getting the lease prepared. We're still working through a couple things. We also got to do a little bit of a parking agreement, but we're in the process of doing that. And I will say that our partner that we're working with has already been at work coming up with a very creative design that I think is a lot better ways than what we had before, and I think it just shows that we are getting closer to making this a reality, and I hope we'll have something by the 1st of May to present to council and be able to get that moving. Yes?
In response to the truck getting stuck last week under Graffiti Bridge, bridge. Has there ever been any conversations as to address to make sure that doesn't happen?
Well, again, the biggest thing that we have that we're out of control. If you've noticed, we've already put up signs everywhere that it's a truck prohibition to go there. So the signs are all over, and people clearly aren't reading the signs. I think the problem we've got is it's the applications that everybody is now on their own maps, and it's sending it through there. And we've tried over and over again. As you saw, we were able to avoid a lot of that while the bridge was down. In other ways, people just didn't go that way because it wasn't. But we're so used to technology, we immediately grab what's there. So we've done all that we could. I think what we would like to do, I think ultimately the only thing that's going to do it is I've talked to David. I'd love to make like a really expensive fine for you hit it, so people think about it. Those are the things that are going to stop people from thinking about it. We can do all the things we want to do, and people just aren't following it. They're looking at other stuff. We've tried to reach out to the Waze groups and all the other people and try to make them aware that there's a truck prohibition. The problem is some people who have trucks use truck software. Some people just use regular software, and it doesn't distinguish. So we're doing as much as we can to try to keep people from hitting the graffiti bridge. But I almost think we need to just put something over the top of it about having a fairly significant fine and see if that deters people, gets people to think. I mean, there's so many different ways for you to go around that you don't have to get there and do it. It's just unfortunate that we keep having people run into it. And everything is plastered as you come down off the bridge. Don't go this way. So I don't know what we can continue to do. They just don't listen and don't look. But that's what we're still working on. But I think so much of it, I think the people who use the truck software, we've at least communicated with them, but regular software, we have been less successful in getting them to explain that, because cars use it all the time, so it's going to naturally go that way. It's built for cars. People who have trucks just don't sometimes think about that.
Sorry, I'll just follow up on that. I've always been curious when I put a clearance bar before you get to the bridge that if you hit this, you're going to hit the bridge.
We've certainly looked at that. I think there are a variety of other things that have happened in that area. We've tried to keep things at least from clutter. It's a beautiful scene, and I think as we get the new bridge opening and everything comes through there, it really is a beautiful area. I guess if that's what we have to do, but we get as many people hitting it then from the north side as well. I think the north side's a little bit more discouraging because the way you have to come down into it. I hope maybe some trucks pull off, but it's unfortunate to me because we worked with DOT to make the truck prohibition on that road once we got the new bridge, and we still have people that do it. Like I said, I think it's more the software issue that we're running into a problem with. Jeremy.
That's actually what I was going to say. Not a question, more of a suggestion. Do you think I don't know. People are people. So you think if they somehow hit something else, they're going to keep going. That's some of the problem that we have. But it is what it is. As Casey says, sometimes that's why we can't have nice things. So, anyways, we'll see what we can do. Well, pull out all the podium, the flags, and everything else, so we can do this. We want to get you in there and let you take a look at it. But we do have my mayor hat. I'm excited about my mayor helmet, and a coat. So I am looking to get Dawn here. I can't get that. I have to unzip it. But I'm looking forward to getting ready. We'll have gear. Come on in, and we're gonna let you see what we've got and some of the tools and assets that we do. So come on in. We got a great day for you.